Hello everyone, I'm here today with the game Coralia by Michael Rieneck and published by Huch Games and Restoration Games. Coralia is a light dice placement game where you gain cards. I think it's bright, it's beautiful. We're going to take a look at how to play it and then we'll come back and talk about my final thoughts here in a minute. Okay, here we are set up with a 3-player game of Coralia. In this setup we have dice taking up one spot to show that we don't have the 4th player. So you roll a color. There's 6 colors in this: yellow, blue, red, purple, green, and orange. You roll each of those. This one got moved, oops. But you roll those colors, set them on the appropriate matching spaces. Like this one happens to be a green octopus, so we put the green octopus into the green area on the board. See, there's 6 different symbols for the 6 die faces. So the green octopus is going to go there. Nobody's going to be able to use that green octopus in this game. But that's okay. We'll talk about that in a minute. So you start by doing that. If you're in a 3-player game. In a 4-player game, you would use 2 of the spaces. In a 4-player game, you don't put any out. In a 2-player game, you use 2 of the spaces to show that those dice are used up and those spaces are used up. And that's randomly done. After you're done that, you mix the treasure tiles up. I've already done that and placed them on the board, so they're here. Let's take a look at an example one. I'm not going to go over what they all do, but on the back, those are hidden. On the back, they have some type of benefit that they'll give the player when they get the dice placement there. We'll talk about that too. Basically, it's that when you have your diver here and you go to, let's say I rolled a blue diver. When my diver goes over there, then my dice would go, well, let's see, let's get the right color. Then my die would go down here to cover up that space, and then I would get the benefit of those. But set up, put 6 of the 8 treasure chests out. Everybody gets their pieces. So everybody starts with 2 of the octopus pieces and 1 diver. And then the other pieces are the boats up there. So there's the boats. Start on the 0 track of the score track, the 0 mark of the score track, and then we shuffle the different decks. There are the decks with, I call them mussels, but I'm not sure what they are, but they have the pearls. So let's take a look at those. Alright, so like I said, you shuffle the pearl cards and then place them next to the pearl reminder card. Basically, that when you take that action during the game, you get 2 of those cards. They're points, just straight up points. Shuffle the fish cards. When you get those, you're going to take 2, keep 1, put 1 underneath. And the starfish cards, when you get those in the game, you're going to take 3 and put 2 back underneath and keep 1. So we both talked about what their spaces do and how you prep with those. The other thing you're going to do is after you put out these 3 decks, then you're going to take 3 cards from each and shuffle those, and that's going to make your island deck, and that's important. Just talk about that now, because when you have a die, and let's say I roll a yellow fish, like here, if I roll a yellow fish and I can't place that yellow fish, but maybe that's all I can use, or if I want to use it, I would put it up there, and then I would get an island card. So the island dice are going to come out either through cards or through treasure chests, and what those do is they act as wild. On your turn, you'll get to roll those, and then use one of them in any color space instead. After you've set all this up and you have the dice handy, the starting player will take 4 dice. In this case, I had the starting player choose these 4 dice. So they'll take those 4 dice, they'll shuffle them. My son likes to put them in the dice, in the tower, take them up, shuffle them, flip them, and then keeping them on the correct faces that they rolled, put them in the top of the tower. That's important because the next person, before they will use them, they get to take a look at them. So in this case, they rolled a blue fish, a red octopus, a green starfish, and a yellow octopus. All of those happen to be available, so they can go any of those spaces. Wherever they go, then they will get the corresponding card. So if they go to an octopus, though, the difference, instead of getting a card, is they will place out their octopus on the board, and however many die are there, let's pretend this was switched. So let's say the starting thing here was one green starfish, and they happen to roll a green octopus. Then on that space they would place their octopus, and they would immediately get 2 points and go up on the point track over here. So octopus, instead of getting a card, you go up on points immediately. Again, the different cards are going to give you different things. Basically, the mussels or pearls, those cards are going to give you points at the end of the game. They're just printed on there. The fish cards are going to give you a variety of a fish that you can use for points at the game, and the starfish are going to give you either fish or different things that you can use at the end of the game. The island, now let's say for some reason they had, again, rolled, going back to this, rolled something that they couldn't use, like the starfish, and all of the rest of these were blocked for whatever reason, that they were on the same symbols as what was already out on the board. The person playing could choose to use their starfish and go up to the island at the top of the board where that yellow die is, and they would get to take an island card from here. So that's that. And if a special power gives you access to the special dice from the island, here are those. They act as wild in the game. You roll them, and then you get to take the action shown on that die face. That's basically most of the game. One of the things that you might have a question about is, do I re-roll everything? Yes, you do. But at the beginning of your turn, you don't turn these right away, because remember those turtles? So let's say I see something I really want. I know that I want to use the red die face for the octopus. If I already have a turtle, instead of having to re-roll that at the beginning of my card, I can place that red die on the turtle, roll the other three. You're always going to roll the new one, but roll the other three. So in this case, we'll say these three. I roll the other three, place those at the top of the research station tower, but then I could use my red octopus and gain the points from that. So that's what turtles are good for. They're good for reserving die after you use them for the immediate special bonus. So once you've done all that, you go around until there are die remaining by player count. So in the case of 4-player game, 4 dice. In the case of 3, 3, and 2, 2. So it will always work out that the last player will take the last turn. The end of the game happens right then, and then you score everything. So first, score the starfish. Use the starfish bonuses beginning with the starting player. Those are all in the book, but let's take an example one and look at it. What we have here. For example, you might just get points. That's a point card. Or you might get something like this. It's kind of hard to see, but that's a yellow dice and a yellow die and a blue die, or what the dice are on there. So at the end of the game, for every one that matches that, that is on the research station or in the supply, you get to immediately draw one card from those available 4 piles. So again, the pearls, the fish, the starfish, or the island. So if there were both a yellow and blue here, you would get to draw 8 cards. If there was something still left in the supply when you got that, then you would add a card for each of those, so you could draw more. But you play that for each die left on those. You draw those cards, and then you take 1 card per pile. It's a great way to get a ton of additional points. Let's take a look at another one. So there's fish. Just one more, because these are pretty powerful. But you might get the one that shows different treasure chests. If you get the treasure chests, you get to immediately take those treasure chests, and whichever one you choose first. If you choose the orange one first, then you get the orange power first. If you choose the blue one, then you get the blue power first, and then you would take the next treasure chest and get the bonus there. So those are how those work. Starfish are pretty great. Score points for the divers for occupied spaces on the reef where your diver is resting. Let's take a look here. So let's say my diver were up here on the reef, and let's say I'm the green player, my diver's up here, and most of these spots are covered up at the end of the game. Alright, I would add up the numbers next to those. So 1 plus 4 plus 3 plus 5 plus 2. Add all that up. And that would be a total of, let's see here, 10, 13, 15 points that my diver would get because he is on that reef with those dice. I want to get the one for the diver, but that's okay. There's no points there anyways. The rest of the numbers on that reef are covered, and my diver's there, so I get points for that. Final thoughts with Coralia. I think the components are great. I love the little diver and the octopus pieces. If anything, and this is a super minor complaint, the boats could be bigger because they're the tiniest of all the little pieces, but that's a very minor complaint. They fit fine on the score track that goes around the board. I like the colorful dice. The game will make you feel like summertime. It has all that going for it. So maybe if you need to pick me up during wintertime with something colorful, this might be a good family game for you. Or if you're just out and you need to play something on the back porch during the summertime too, this is a good one. The cards are fine. There's nothing wrong there. Good production quality. This is a very light game. So if you are looking for something for your kids that might be older, 10, 11, 12, that have played more strategy games, this might not fit the bill. But if you're looking just for a light family game as a filler or something else that you just enjoy to get out real quick and play, it's a good one. It's easy to remember. It's easy to learn how to play. I played it with my younger son and his friend. We played it once. They really liked it, so we just got in and played it again. They liked it both times and they want to play it again. So overall, a good family, light pick for especially kids, I would say in that 8 to 10, 8 to 11 range, if they like a light family filler. Adults can enjoy it too. The artwork is fine. It's good for what it is. So Coralia by Michael Rieneck, I recommend it as a good filler family game. Thanks.